Hey everyone, welcome to Cobra Kai Kompanion, the YouTube channel. This is interview number 6 with Susan Gallagher from July 20th of 2018. And Tom, who was my co-host at the time, also joined me for this interview with Susan before we ever started Cobra Kai Kompanion again on the previous podcast where we had originally started our coverage of Cobra Kai. Here's the interview.
Hi, this is Susan Gallagher. I play homeless woman Lynn on Cobra Kai, and you are listening to Tom and Peter on TV Ate My Brain. Guess they've had one too many meth and burritos.
Welcome to TV Ate My Brain, the official TV podcast of Core 10 Parts, and I am Peter, also host of Podstalgic.
And I'm Tom, co-host of Jake and Tom Conquer the World.
And we are back.
Surprise!
Yeah, hello, hi. Not a hiatus, but the show has ended its first season, and for those that don't follow us on Twitter currently, we announced that we're gonna try to do some update episodes, news, things of that nature. I think
I currently have a backlog of news stories, including one involving a flight school of all things.
Yeah. So that will soon come. That won't be on this episode, but we might have been a little ambitious, thinking maybe bi-weekly, so maybe monthly. That
sounds realistic.
Yeah, because there's not a whole bunch of news to report anyway, and I don't want anybody downloading like a 5-minute episode, So, but yeah, if for anybody that's tuning in for the very first time. We covered the Cobra Kai show, each episode individually here at TV Ate My Brain. We first started covering the entire Karate Kid movies over on my show, Podstalgic. So, today we have another amazing interview. This is the 6th one of a cast member from Cobra Kai. Today we speak with Susan Gallagher, who plays homeless Lynn. She was quite a joy to speak with.
Oh, absolutely. Very cool lady.
She really is. And, great stories. She's extremely funny.
Very smart. Very well-spoken.
Absolutely. She has her own production company.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about her. I was very, very, I had a grin from ear to ear listening to her stories.
Yeah, absolutely. So, without further ado, this is our conversation with Susan Gallagher. So I guess we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. I definitely would like the listeners to kind of get to know you a little bit. I did get a chance to watch some of your previous work, the first of which I would like for you to kind of speak on a little bit, but Beneath the Crown.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That was my first documentary several years ago. I just got to the point where I was tired of waiting on my agent to get me auditions and opportunities. And, I wasn't getting any younger. And I finally was at the point where I wasn't afraid to fail and I didn't have to know everything. And just decided to do my own work. And I had written a short film and decided to try to direct it and act in it, which I don't recommend. And that was about 5 or 6 years ago. And I produced several other films since then and formed Her Little Red Productions, which is an all-female production company. And we produce and write and support female-driven films, even though, we have our token guys here and there, and we love our guys.
Sure.
But Beneath the Crown was based on the life of the 1967 Miss Universe, Sylvia Hitchcock Carson. And she lived in Lake Worth, Florida, a little town in the center of the state where my husband was born and raised. So I had known Sylvia for like 30 years, and she wasn't your typical beauty queen. She was an artist and a sculptor and an athlete. And my mother had groomed and trained beauty pageants in our home growing up. She had a background in music. So I grew up watching these women and thinking, they're just so perfect and blah, blah, blah. And I sort of rebelled against all of that and went in the other direction. But when I met Sylvia, I thought, wow, she is nothing like the beauty queens that I have known in my life. And she was just a fascinating woman and very unpretentious, comfortable in her own skin, and treated everyone the same, whether it was the custodian at the local high school or, the governor of the state. She was always the same. And I think that inner beauty is what people were so attracted to. And she actually won the Miss Alabama contest wearing a borrowed bridesmaid's dress, and her sorority sisters had talked her into entering, and then she won the Miss USA and she won the Miss Universe. So, we had quite a nice run with Beneath the Crown, and I was very smart by bringing on board a 2-time Emmy award-winning documentary filmmaker by the name of Dr. Lisa Mills. So we collaborated on the project, and I'm very proud of it.
It's a great film. I was watching it and I was like, she's very much like Forrest Gump. She's met all these amazing people, through during her time, and I wish there was more of it. I saw it on Amazon Prime, and I definitely encourage listeners to go check that out. It was definitely a fun watch.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, she has a very infectious smile.
Yeah. I mean, it was difficult for me for a while because she died.
Right.
And, I cared for her. So it's still almost surreal because, I had talked about telling her story, or someone should tell her story for a long, long time. Something was just pushing me to go ahead and do it, because when we first began the documentary, she had not been diagnosed, Peter. So I think it was just meant to be. And of course, when she did get her diagnosis, I was like, Sylvia, let's just put this film on hold, and you need to take care of yourself and be with your family. And then we'll pick back up down the road. And she was like, no, Susan, we need to finish this film. So her family was just so wonderful in allowing me to go on this very private journey with her and with them. So I just feel honored to have been a part of that. And I think they're pleased, and this is a legacy that I'm, that's going to be there. So, it's all good.
Have you ever thought about maybe turning that into like some sort of feature film, a biopic of some sort?
I would love to do that. We were able to get distribution with a company out of Los Angeles, that they mainly deal with flights on airplanes and that kind of thing. And we're waiting to see if anything else materializes, because I think that it would make a wonderful feature film. And there's a lot more to the story that you just can't tell in the 21 minutes in the documentary that we did. So yeah, we'll see where the journey takes us, and we're certainly open.
Now, I also watched something else that you were in, Queering, on YouTube. It was very bingeable, 5 episodes, most of them of which are under 10 minutes. But that was fun watching you in that role.
Yes. Oh gosh, I've just had the best time with that, and it's doing well. So everybody, please go to YouTube and binge Queering web series. It's pretty funny.
It really is, and I'm surprised that they were as short as they were. I thought they were going to be maybe 20 minutes each episode. But do you have any knowledge, about a season 2 or something?
Oh yeah, it's in the works.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the audience demand is there, and we actually found out yesterday that we're going to be part of the International Online Web Fest, and I think they chose 4 or 5 American web series to screen, and we won. The audience voted, and we had a huge audience response, and so we're going to be in their spring lineup. So we're excited about that, and we've been getting lots of coverage around the world. I mean, the writer-director Letitia had sent the cast a huge, beautiful newspaper article from Portugal And I'm trying to figure out how to get it all translated so I can read the thing. But anyway, it's really cool, the following, and not just in the gay and lesbian community, but even I've got friends and colleagues that are straight that have binged it and enjoyed it, and we've gotten great feedback from some of them too. So we'll see.
Yeah, extremely
Yeah,
hilarious.
but it's fun playing a bisexual. It's the first time I've ever played a bisexual woman. So, it was fun.
Yeah, it really is. You guys do a great job. You, Sophia, Diana, great comedic timing. The writing is hilarious, and I like to spin on it too. Where Sophia, who plays your daughter, Harper, is
Harper.
very much she's like the mother, talking to the teenage daughter. They're like, no, you don't belong in this community. You're bisexual. It's hilarious.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that it was available on YouTube, and I had to check it out.
Well, thank you so much. That's great, because it just premiered, I think, June 24th. So it's still pretty hot out there. So, check it out, right?
Yeah, and you know what else is hot? Cobra Kai.
Oh my gosh.
That's a segue if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, for sure.
So you play the character of Lynn, who is known as Homeless Lynn. How did you come across this role?
It was the funniest thing, Peter. Like I was telling you, I formed my own production company because I was tired of waiting on my agent. And I also decided a couple of years ago to start self-submitting on projects that I was attracted to, and trying to get into a little bit more of the indie world and just putting it out there, because I was so tired of just auditioning and portraying one certain type of character. So I started looking for things that you would never expect me to audition for. And I belong to ActorsAccess.com, which I don't know if you know what that is, but it's sort of part of breakdown services on a more local level. And I had looked that week in the Southeast, and there was an audition for the part of Lynn, homeless woman Lynn, on Cobra Kai. And I looked immediately to see who the casting director was. And I didn't know him, and he didn't know me. So I thought, okay, well, because, looking at me, you would not expect me to be a homeless woman, or if you were my agent, you're never going to submit me for this kind of role. So anyway, I thought, okay, well, I've got a chance. And I was very determined to get this role. So I sent Bajo, the casting director, a taped audition, which is what was requested. And I wore my husband's huge sweatpants and sweatshirts, and I messed up my hair and wore no makeup and put some dark circles under my eyes, and just, had this attitude that she was going to be sassy. I didn't want her to be this pathetic victim kind of homeless woman. I wanted her to have a lot of sass. And then I didn't even tell my Southeastern agent about it, because I thought, oh, what the heck? I'm just going to throw it out there and see what happens. Well, I get a call from AMT out of Atlanta, and they're like, you have a callback for a homeless woman on Cobra Kai? And they're like, and I thought, oh my gosh, I said, yeah, I forgot to tell you. I submitted a self-tape. And they're like, oh, okay, great. Because they couldn't remember and they couldn't figure it out. So anyway, I thought, okay, I've got the callback. All right, let's see. How am I going to book this job? So number one, I went in character, and I knew that I couldn't be charming and friendly and smiling and all of that, or it would give it away. I'm going to have to just stay in character. So I walk in there, and like I said, I had never met this casting director, and he is this great-looking guy. And then I see these three great-looking men who are, the producers and writers of the show. I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, all of these cute guys, and here I am, this homeless woman, but I got to focus here. And so I did, and they were just so nice, and we did it a few times, and I felt great about it. And when I was walking out, one of them said, well, we're going to have to, do something with the teeth. And I was like, great, bring it on. So I booked it, and the hair and the makeup department are just phenomenal. And the costuming, it just all pulls together. And it's just been my favorite role ever.
Now, from what I've gathered from other cast members, the scenes were filmed in chronological order. What was it like filming with Billy Zabka that night in front of the convenience store?
It was so much fun. I mean, what a blast. I'm digging in a trash can. And, you know, he's got this wonderful character. And he and I just sort of had this banter thing going on, and our energy just, you know, it just kind of worked. And I just felt real comfortable doing it. And you know, it was just a blast. And I thought that he was on my territory. I thought he was a homeless person trying to, you know, hustle coin at my mark. So I was like, you know, finish up and then beat it, because he's sitting there on the curb eating a pizza or a burrito, whatever he's eating. I don't know. I think I was having pizza. Yeah, you know, he's great to work with. He's very focused, but he's also very generous and easy to be around. And, you know, it's just been a wonderful experience. But back to the makeup, he literally like paints my teeth individually, you know, so my teeth look completely rotten, and puts fake makeup dirt all over my face, and then this kind of bluish green around and underneath my eyes, and then makeup dirt on my hands, my nails, my chest. So I'm filthy. I mean, she is literally filthy. And then the clothes. Oh my gosh, the costumer had the best time with this wardrobe, and it's filthy. It's all, you know. It's not like I can run into the McDonald's and grab a cup of coffee as Lynn. You know, they're not going to let me in. Even one night,
you totally should.
Yeah,
Season 2, that should be one of your goals.
Right, I'm walking back to my trailer late one night after we had wrapped, and of course they have security out there and just, you know, looking after all the cars and the trailers and stuff. And the security officer said, "No, you can't go in there." She thought I was a real homeless woman. So it's been interesting. You know, I tried to, a guy tried to pick me up, a homeless man that was in the neighborhood. So, you know, it's made me look at homeless people in a different light, and I find myself, you know, just really having a love for them and caring about them as human beings.
Now, we've had a chance to talk to some of the other cast members, but they're all of the millennial generation who grew up past the prime of the Karate Kid franchise. As somebody who has, you know, grown up with it, I can't imagine how surreal it would be to be on that set, see William Zabka playing Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah.
Did you have any pangs of that at all?
You know, I was just so thrilled to be a part of it, and I felt like that these three guys, Josh and John and Hayden, that they had really loved those movies so much, and they're all so crazy talented and crazy creative, and I was just really excited to be a part of it. And the fact that Billy and Ralph were part of this, I thought, you know what, this could be wonderful. And but I tell you what was really impressive is to see Billy throw in a, you know, spinning roundhouse kick and stretching and having to get up there and do those stunts time and time and time again. Because actually, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, but haven't done any.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't even know if they know that, but yeah, my whole family, we're all black belts, but I haven't done Taekwondo in probably 10 years. And, you know, it's tough on the body, and he is doing these beautiful stunts. I mean, he's nailing them with these young guys, and my hat's off to him. He's in great shape.
Yeah, he really is. And, you know, just a shout out to Hiro Koda, who just got nominated, you know, for the stunt work on Cobra Kai.
Absolutely. Isn't that fantastic?
It is. It really is, you know, and hopefully that got a little recognition from, you know, those that maybe not, may not be privy to the Cobra Kai as a show. So hopefully that got a little bit more exposure as well.
Hopefully, yeah.
The second episode where your character is featured, that's where Johnny kind of hires you to kind of help advertise for his dojo. what was filming that like? And I understand that the writers, they give you guys some wiggle room. Was there any kind of improvisation on your part with Billy?
Yeah, there was a little bit. That was a great episode. You mean when we're standing out on the corner and he's spinning the sign and wanting me to hold the sign up, but then I use it as my house, my roof kind of thing. And that's when I have my meth and my burrito. Yeah, they're really good about letting us, giving us a little bit of freedom with that. So I thought it was funny how Johnny, or Billy's character Johnny, did not actually really spin the sign or know what to do with the sign. It was just sort of this awkward thing. And I thought that was just hilarious how he had chosen to play that moment. So, I just thought it worked really well, especially with the cars going by. And, it was just a really, I think, a cute moment. And Lynn, who is wanting to show her bits, but it's going to cost him extra. And then, he's like, nobody wants to see your bits. I mean, she was offended by that because, number one, he has no idea what her bits are like. And, he hurt her feelings. So, she didn't like that too much. But, yeah, it was really funny. And then when he's like, well, hold it up, hold up the sign. And I just stand there.
Now, one of the things that I find really interesting about the show Cobra Kai in particular is that it's forcing us to look at events in a different point of view from, say, Johnny's point of view or that character's point of view. I gotta admit, I got a kick out of Lynn, but I want to know, what is that character's story? I mean, did you kind of piece any of that together on your own, or are you just kind of playing her off the page?
Well, the backstory that I have for Lynn is that she's possibly maybe even former Green Beret, and she's got PTSD, and maybe the love of her life, she saw being blown up or something when they were, I don't, I mean, that's what I have in my back pocket. But I would love to know what some of these brilliant writers think about Lynn, because I'm going to go with whatever they're going with, because, they're creative geniuses. But that's what I feel about Lynn, because I don't want her to be this pathetic victim. I want her to have some sass, and, she might be able to kick your tail, give her 20 minutes to stretch and 3 months to get in shape.
One word that I would never describe that character as is anybody's victim. But I'm looking at her and I'm saying, there's a story there. What is going on with this lady? How did she get here?
Yeah.
There's something really compelling about her.
Well, I think that she grew up, in my mind, in a very structured, controlling environment, maybe even a military home. And then when all of these horrible things happened in her life, and she was probably injured too, and never really recovered from her injuries and was in a lot of pain, and developed a drug addiction from that, and decided to go completely off the grid. And for her, there's a freedom and almost, that is her choice, that she just cannot handle the reality of life, and that she chooses to just be completely, off the grid. And
as I say, live life on her terms.
Yeah, living life on her terms. Because, it's really sad for a lot of homeless people, especially women, who are, raped and brutalized and taken advantage of. And I don't think that's Lynn's case.
No, like I said, she does not strike me as a victim, but there's something to her story that I really, really genuinely hope that they at least try to explore a little bit.
I do too. And listen, if you've got any ideas of what you think, I am open, man. I'm open to everybody's thoughts about her.
I think I have something here. Could Lynn possibly have been an ex-girlfriend of Sensei Kreese?
Ooh.
Ooh, ooh la la.
Why is she, hanging out in that particular parking lot? That's where the old dojo used to be. Maybe she's waiting for Kreese to show back up.
Maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
What would you like to see happen with your character in season 2? I know people are pretty tight-lipped and, whether their characters are returning or not, but let's just say your character is returning. What would you like to see happen with Lynn?
Well, I mean, of course, to return would be top of the list, but I would like to see her continue to have the more dealings with Johnny. I think that relationship, whether it's kind of not a friendship, but almost like a neighbor kind of thing happening, I think would be really interesting. I mean, maybe she helps. Maybe Lynn could be somewhat of a secretary, or help a little bit, maybe even cleaning outside, or I don't know. I really like the energy between Johnny and Lynn. I think it's really interesting, and I think that would be interesting to develop.
I absolutely agree. I think that the back and forth that you guys had is phenomenal. However, I kind of want to see her give Johnny a little bit of comeuppance, just kind of putting him in his place just a little bit, because let's face it, he does look down on her as lesser than.
Yeah.
And I really want her to be able to get a really good one in on him and put him in his place.
I think that's a great idea. And I do think that Lynn thinks that she's smarter than Johnny. So she might.
She absolutely is, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be really cool. Because, well, I mean, from the first time they met, she's basically putting him in his place, telling him to get lost. So, there's no telling what she'll say. Yeah, the crew had said that they wanted to have those little wristbands made up that said, "What would Lynn do?" I thought that was really fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, we totally got to get that hashtag going.
Yeah. Somebody on Twitter had started that, and then they had started bring Lynn back, and somebody started favorite badass female. So it's been fun, and my Facebook has just blown up. So it's been a great experience, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it.
I was going to say that I looked over your IMDb page, and in the biography section, one of the very first things that they say is that you're the daughter of a jazz musician.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I've never spoke to anybody who was the child of a jazz musician. What kind of interesting stories do you have with that?
Oh, gosh. My mom had a television show back in the early 50s with Dick Van Dyke, and she plays the piano and the organ and sings and is just so talented. It's just unbelievable. She plays by ear, and she can listen to a song one time and then sit at the piano and play the whole thing. So, I like all different types of music, but she was a very cool person, and still is. She's just 89 years old, and she doesn't play too much now. But yeah, we had a lot of music growing up in our home. A lot of jam sessions and musicians over all the time. And, she was the mom who allowed my brother's band in high school to set up in our living room, our formal living room. Practice.
Oh, that's awesome.
3 nights a week. So, yeah.
As we get ready to wrap up here, what are some other, I already mentioned queering and also your film Beneath the Crown. Is there anything else that you're working on that listeners can check out in the near future?
Well, Peter, actually last week I received a Best Actress nomination from the California Women's Film Festival for my role in a short film called Picking Back Up, where I portray an addict, alcoholic woman who is spiraling downward. So I'm very proud of that. Even though it's a small festival, it's so nice to be recognized.
Yeah,
and
congratulations.
Thank you so much. I recently wrapped on an upcoming Christmas movie that's going to be on Lifetime called The Christmas Contract, and we shot that in Lafayette, Louisiana. So that's coming out, obviously, December, and that's starring Hilary Burton and Robert Buckley from One Tree Hill, and Cheryl Ladd and Bruce Boxleitner. So that was a lot of fun. And also, I am flying to New York this Thursday, and I'm going to be filming a short film where I'm playing the part of a woman, a mom who has early onset Alzheimer's. So this is going to be my most challenging role yet, and I've been doing a lot of research, and I'm hoping that that I can bring some truth to this role and this woman that I'm going to be portraying. So that's going to be this weekend. And I recently did a feature film called Black Easter Resurrection that's coming out next Easter. I did a pilot called Boots and Trenches where I played a bipolar mom that's was shot in Mississippi, and they're hopeful on that. And I just spoke with another director. I did a short film up in New York a few months ago that is getting ready to hit the film festival circuit, and I think it's going to do really well. So I'm just, fingers crossed. It's been busy for me the last couple of years, and I'm very grateful for that. And we'll just wait and see what happens. I love to work and love to have that creative outlet and play these more character-type roles.
Well, it sounds like things are really taking off for you, so congratulations all around.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
And that concludes our conversation with Susan. We definitely hope that she returns for season 2.
Oh, she has to.
She's got to.
I mean, the character has a bit of a cult following. They'd be kind of silly not to bring her back.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was her interaction with Johnny in that very first episode gave me the biggest laugh out loud moment.
Yes.
When he's like, I'm not homeless. That's the funniest thing ever. And I don't remember if I said it in our conversation with her, but I really wanted to tell her that they are the perfect odd couple,
yes.
Her and Johnny.
They got to get those two working together some more.
They really do. So that wraps it up right now. Again, we don't have any news that we're going to report just yet, but if you continue subscribing to the show, you'll get the updates as soon as you get them. But there are other ways to get a hold of us as well. We do have a Twitter account specifically for this coverage, and that's at Cobra Kai Pod. And we also have a group page, www.CobraKai.TVAMB group, and you spell out the 2 periods there. But yeah, you can find us in there. We're posting episodes, and because there is a lull right now, every once in a while I'll just kind of go back and just repost episodes. And so so we have some followers in there that have been sharing some things that they've found, pictures and stuff like that. Join the group, continue the conversation there. We're there as well. But Tom, where else can they find you if they want to check out some of your other content?
Oh, well, like I said, you can hear me every week on a little podcast called Jake and Tom Conquer the World. If you want to get in touch with me, you can reach me on Twitter at The Drunken Dork or on Facebook at Jake and Tom Conquer the Group.
And for me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Podstalgic. I have a group page myself, Podstalgic and Friends, where I post everything that I do. So Cobra Kai, the 16 different podcasts that I cover. I'm exaggerating, but
not by much.
But yeah, it's all on Facebook. But I want to thank you guys for those that have checked out our coverage, and we hope that you continue to listen to some of our coverages as well. There's definitely some more things in the works, so stay tuned to that. And if you don't want to miss any updates, definitely join the group page because we're going to post everything there. So thank you guys, and we will see you next time.